Quora Reads. Is this true about healthcare in the United States? People pay horrific premiums and ridiculous deductibles and have to become indebted if they seek care. Answer Azel Bahadari. When my mom was 43 years old, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. The doctors asked if she wanted to be treated. Since she wanted to stay around until my little sisters and I grew up, my parents decided to opt for treatment, even though they knew it was expensive. We were fortunate enough that my dad happened to work for an insurance company and had been paying for the best insurance money could buy. Before she was diagnosed with a pre-existing condition of cancer, a Blue Cross Blue Shield family package was costing something like $7,300 per year. She underwent chemotherapy and radiation for 6 years. The insurance company didn't cover hospital stays, so my sisters and I were caring for her at home. Every year, the insurance premiums rose, and my father kept paying even though the coverage went from 80% to 60%, then down to 40%. I have no idea where he was getting the money to keep paying them. He had been trying to hide the financial issues from us at the time, because my sisters were just kids. In November of 2006, the doctors told her it was a lost cause, and she came home and died 3 days later. Even though my dad had kept the insurance going, they refused to approve any of the treatments for her last 3 months, and she was stuck with hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical bills. He used his kids' college savings, life insurance, and money from selling the house to pay for the medical debt. When I was just a teenager and all this was happening, I didn't have any perspective as to how broken the medical insurance system was. Everyone acted like it was normal, which it was, since there wasn't really any alternative. My dad even said that the United States has the best healthcare system in the world. However, when I turned 18, I began working in the medical industry. This was pre-ACA, Obamacare, and the doctor that I worked for had to go to court every week to defend his patients who were being denied insurance coverage. They were mostly occupational injuries, and it was mind-boggling to see the audacity of these insurance lawyers. Since when was falling off a ladder a pre-existing condition? That was one of the real claims. I can't make this stuff up. The insurance company won that one too. I love the U.S. and all of the opportunities that it provides, but the fact that affordable healthcare is even a debate here makes me sick. It just serves as proof that in this country, corporate money reigns supreme, and taxpayers pay for it. Many of them with their lives. Edit. I'm astonished at the amount of upvotes this has received, and I feel obligated to add some more concrete statistics so that this little anecdote will have more context. First, I don't blame anyone for being confused about America's healthcare system. This pie chart from the National Priorities Project helps to support the common misconception that America has the best healthcare in the world. Simple, right? Here's the critical question. If the United States spends this much on healthcare, in fact, it spends disproportionately more on healthcare than any other country, why do 50,000 Americans die every year because they lack health insurance? According to findings in 2012 by Harvard researchers in the U.S. Census Bureau, Gaiman, 2017, page 98, why are people forced to choose between bankrupting treatment or a slow, painful death? Where does $1,051.8 billion actually go? It's an easy problem to ignore with the billions of dollars spent by insurance and pharmaceutical companies on advertising and lobbying campaigns to influence American perceptions. But if you look behind the curtain, you'll see that it's all just a very well orchestrated business venture. A universal and ethical healthcare system would cost private healthcare companies their profits, and they won't go down without a fight. Edit July 25th, 2019. Here's the type of wording you'll see on Blue Cross Blue Shield, one of the biggest U.S. healthcare insurance companies. Dear Blue Cross Blue Shield, thank you for your help during this difficult time. We cannot approve your hospital stay for cancer care. We do not have enough facts to show that it was medically necessary. We ask your hospital to tell us about the types of care and treatments you need. We also need to know about any abnormal test results. We cannot approve your hospital stay for cancer care. We do not have enough facts to show that it was medically necessary. Cancer care. Ann White. I honestly don't think the USA is going to get a functioning universal healthcare system until you get rid of the fact that medicine is a big business. The insurance companies, pharmaceutical companies, private hospitals, and doctors who own expensive equipment and have to pay for it by over-referring patients for tests, and last but not least, your tort lawyers who make it almost essential to constantly order unnecessary tests to CYA, cover your A, all contribute to the greed that feeds the U.S. medical system. Get rid of business and lobbyists, all with self-interest, and your system could be organized and work well as a single-payer one. Shachar Shemesh. Just to put this in perspective, I live in Israel. About a decade ago, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, underwent chemotherapy and radiotherapy. Had to go through one operation to get diagnosed, 3 days hospitalization. Had several CT and PET CT scans, not counting blood tests, regular x-rays before diagnosis, and so on. Total out-of-pocket expense was around $130 NIS, about $40 US, of which about half was reimbursed. Zingzhou. One fact makes me feel even worse about U.S. healthcare is that my tax rate is as high as UK and France as I live in CA. Fed and state combined. Those two countries have very affordable healthcare. Joanne Leake. When I read your sobering story, I have to wonder about the price paid for opportunity. My thoughts and prayers are with you and your family. Andy Marsh. Your second sentence saddened me. The doctors asked if she wanted to be treated. Is that really a question that should be asked? Here the conversation would go straight from giving you the bad news to what treatment you need. To give you a choice based on your financial insurance status seems barbaric. Philip Ross. As other contributors have pointed out, the dead weight of the insurance companies, the litigation, and other costs which do not exist in state-funded healthcare systems adds considerably to the cost. Leaving aside the tragic human cost reflected in that you have stated above, and in saying this I am not in any way accepting or justifying it. It is not economically efficient to waste a doctor's time in court, and that cost is simply an additional cost which comes through in the U.S. system's statistics. Your thoughts?